You guys, it's the kid, 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 it's your big man here. Double H, half to that hope, trying to live, trying to exist, trying to stay alive, trying to be the best guy that I can be, man. And I'm here with my main man here, Mr. Tony Barris, and we're gonna. So this is definitely gonna be a focus on Mass Effect because this is something that I always wanted to do because
I
Mass Effect is one
can't
of
hear
my.
you.
Can you not you can't hear me? Oh, okay, I think for some reason you cannot hear me. Maybe Tony, can you go out and come back in? Wait, let me. For some reason, can you still not hear me? Can you still not hear me? Okay. For some reason he can't see me, so let me just tell him to come edit it. Wait, go out and come back in. So if you can hear me. Yeah, go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. All right. Okay, so basically, so Tony is going to go out and come back in, and we're probably, hopefully, going to try and get someone in here to talk about the Xbox Series X, because before we talk about Mass Effect, I do want to talk about the new consoles, and people's impressions on the new consoles, because here we are. So basically, because I haven't yet gotten a
What up, Patriot?
Series X or a thing yet. So I just wanted to get maybe someone on, just maybe discuss their thoughts on the Series X and all that kind of stuff. So Tony, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Coolio. All right. So yes, basically, Tony, I was just basically saying that I want to pretty much get people's impressions on the Series X and Xbox One. So basically, before I get Mr. Papa S, because Papa S, he has a Series X. Yeah. So he's going to give us his first impressions of the Series X. So before we get there, here's my thing. I will not get the console until there is a game on those consoles that I want to play. If there isn't a game on those consoles that I want to play, then I'm not getting it. Simple as that, So it's like, there's no point in me getting the console and it's like, okay, what am I going to play? Like, I don't have a 4K TV. I'm not really interested in playing old Xbox games at, say, higher frame rates or better graphics, because for me, that doesn't appeal to me. What only appeals to me is a brand new game that is made specifically for the Xbox Series X. If you have that, I'm down. If not, then I don't really know why I should be spending my money on this. So because I'm not getting a freaking PS5 to play Miles Morales. I'm not getting a Xbox Series X to play old Xbox games or some kind of... Because most of the launch titles are never great. The launch games are not very great. So for me, hence why I'm interested to see what the guys say about the Series X, because I've heard something about the PS5. And then we can then fall from there. So, Infinity, where are you at with this whole new gen thing? When do you plan on getting them, or do you plan on getting them at all?
No, I'm not planning on buying an Xbox at launch. Like you said, there's really nothing on it to convince me. I mean, I've always been a gamer that, like when a new system's coming out, you have to give me like a good launch title, because if I'm going to go out and spend $500 or more, you're going to be damn sure that I'm going to be playing something that I can't play on my computer or I can't play on my previous system, because why would I spend the money? That's why I think, Microsoft made a mistake with this system, because Halo was supposed to come out as a launch title. And yeah, we all know how that turned out. So it's going to be a rough launch for them, I think, because it's a hard sell.
It was trash. Like again, I don't want to get into a Halo rabbit hole, but maybe we can talk about Halo when we do all that gaming talk. But those losers killed Halo. They released a trailer that was a piece of crap trash that's pissed on the legacy that Bungie built up. And that was, as you said, Halo. You launch... Xbox is tradition. You launch a console with Halo.
Simple.
You launch a console with Halo. Like,
but HH, actually, they only launched once with Halo. The only console launch they had with Halo was the first one.
Xbox One wasn't. So didn't Halo Guardians launch with Xbox One?
No, Halo Guardians came out in 2015. And Xbox One came out in 2013, something like that.
And 360. When did Halo 3? Because Halo 3 was 360, wasn't it?
Halo 3 was 360, but it came way after the launch.
Yeah, it was like the end of it. It was like the end of the Xbox life.
Yeah.
No, but see, the worrying thing though is that piece of crap trailer that came out for Halo was so garbage that you're already off to a bad start. Because obviously, back in the days of 360 Xbox, you were like, okay, no, we're pretty much in good hands here. We're in good hands here with Bungie and everything. But if your flagship that built your console, it's in such bad hands. Okay, why? What are the exclusives? Gears of War, went back into the tournament. But look, I digress. So, Papa, you have a Series X.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'll first, full disclosure. I was on Xbox One S for a while, so I didn't upgrade to the One X, right? And so when I saw that the Series X was coming, I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity to upgrade and whatnot. So I got that, and I got it early. For some reason in Canada, they messed up and they sent to everybody who bought out of the source, they got a week early. So I was like, all right, let me try it. And then I started downloading because I'm a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. So the amount of games that I'm exposed to are not usually games that I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to buy this and play it. I get to play whatever anytime I want. Like every time I see a new game coming up, I'm like, okay, let me see if there's a good review or whatever. Okay, let me try that. And it's expanded the type of games that I'm usually exposed to. And I get to play way more games than that. Like I don't play any blockbusters strictly anymore. So I wouldn't have played Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which for me is the game of the year. Just to be quite honest, I wouldn't have played it if it wasn't for Game Pass. But with Game Pass, I find myself playing games that I never would have thought that I would play at this point. So even if it's just the frame rates are going up, and the the resolution is going up, it does so across the board for tons of games.
But real quick, on Game Pass, so basically, I have like my Xbox Live that I still have because I play Halo Reach on my Xbox One. So what is Game Pass? Is Game Pass just the same as Xbox Live? You pay a fee each month and then you get access to these games?
Here's Game Pass. This is it. You pay in Canada, it's like $15.99 or about $16 Canadian. So I guess it's about like what, $12, $10 in the US. I'm not exactly sure, but you pay that every month. You have Xbox Live inside it, but you have access in a Netflix style to about 200 games at this point. And among those 200 games, you have all the EA Play games inside. And you have all of Microsoft exclusive games inside. So I never paid for Gears 5. I played Gears 5 through the subscription. So whenever there's a new Microsoft game, I played Hellblade on there. I played Gears 5 on there. I played Ori on there. I played all the Forzas on there. And I get them through the Game Pass. So I don't pay for those. I don't pay $70 each for those games anymore. FIFA 20, which I downloaded with the Game Pass, I'm playing it right now because I didn't want to buy FIFA 20 because it's the same game every year. So I'm playing it with Game Pass at this point. And this goes beyond Microsoft or EA. Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat, you name it. Tons of games. It's like 200 games. So for me, it's a great investment. Unless, and now if it's a blockbuster, like the only game I bought with the console is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The rest is Game Pass and the games I owned before.
So basically, you have the Series X right now. So now this is where I want to ask, or is there a question that you want to ask Infinity's Limit? Because I've been speaking a bit. Is there any kind of direct question you want to ask him specifically with his Series X?
Yeah, how good is the backwards compatibility? Have you tried older games on it?
Yeah, I tried. Like I said, I tried Ori. I tried Gears. I haven't necessarily tried any. The only game that I tried before the 360 era was SSX, the snowboarding game. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. I played it because it brought me back a lot of memories. So I played it I downloaded it from Game Pass again, and I tried it, and the frame rate was excellent. and it's the resolution is amazing too. So the games just feel different. All those games that I used to play before, I downloaded the Outer Worlds on Xbox One S, and I played it for like half an hour. I'm like, this is a piece of crap. I removed it from the console. That was like a year ago when it released. Now I'm playing it. It's like a whole different game because the 4K 60, it's just completely different.
Wait, but okay. So, do you have a 4K TV?
I have a 4K. Well, it's a 4K TV, but I don't have those HDMI 2.1 TVs. You know those new TVs that can display those 120 resolution,
Oh yeah, yeah.
120 hertz, and can use the HDMI 2.1 cables. I don't have that, but it's just a standard 4K TV HDR. And HDR is automatic on those old games too now. So games that didn't have HDR before become like you play Halo Master Chief Collection, it's 4K HDR automatic, 60 frames locked. So it's like a different game at this point.
So okay. So again, so just are you? Do you plan on getting the PS5 as well? Is that something that you definitely plan on getting, or are you mostly a? You've just been much more loyal to the Xbox. I mean, what's your PS5 kind of mindset?
The only thing here's the thing. I don't play PS5 regularly. My brother will get his PS5 tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll get to play that hopefully tomorrow. The thing is, I usually am not a big fan of the PS5 controller because the analogs are not necessarily asymmetric. But I'm hearing amazing things about the DualSense. So I might try that. And I'm not necessarily loyal to a brand. I'm on Xbox because one, Game Pass is a hard thing to remove. And also all my achievements, and I've been using Xbox since the first Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get out of the ecosystem. But I'm not averse to trying the PS5 if it comes out and then there's a big game like that I need to play.
Okay, so basically, so general thoughts is that you're happy with the Series X and you're definitely seeing the next gen capability with it.
Me personally, I was hesitating for a while, but when I saw all the acquisitions they made prior to the release with the ZeniMax deal when they bought Bethesda, and I like RPGs like the Outer Worlds, or right now Wasteland 3 is probably my favorite game. So when I saw that and I saw how the direction they're going towards, I'm like, there's no reason for me to remove whatever I have, especially with Game Pass. If Sony had an equivalent to Game Pass, that might have tilted things. But until Game Pass is doing what it's doing with all the perks, I'm getting Funimation for free. I'm getting some free Disney Plus stuff. I'm getting tons of stuff every month. It's getting harder and harder to get out of Game Pass. And another thing is, with the Xbox Ultimate, you get to play on the cloud. So I use my phone. So it's like I have Xbox and a Switch at this point.
Bro, the Switch, I'm telling you, man, that is a incredible console.
It's ridiculous.
Bro, because I've been playing, because I've taken a break from Zelda, so I've been playing more Animal Crossing. But literally, like, I can be like, okay, I need to just head out, grab my thing, start playing. Or let's say I'm in bed, can't sleep, grab it, play, wake up in the morning, okay, TV's on, plug. That concept of handheld to TV is bananas. It is bananas. Like, because funny thing, because remember, so basically, I went to my office and I was stuck on this temple that I was doing on Zelda. And I was just so engrossed on the temple that literally a car almost ran me over. Because I was just like so focused on this like that. And the car was like, "Wait, mate, what the hell?" I was like, "Oh, you saw," because I was so into this. No, but and then I go back home, put it onto my TV, carry it onto my. It is a freaking incredible. See, for me, you see, here's the thing. Because I was holding off getting the Switch, but both of my older brothers said, "Bro, get Zelda, get the Switch." I'm like, because we're all big Zelda guys. They said, no, this console is crazy. Would be one of the craziest games you've ever played. Get a Switch. So because of my brothers, like, okay, like, see, I was not just buying it for the concept. I was buying it for the game and the concept. So now I'm getting this because there is a next gen game that is exclusive for this. So I'm holding off with these new consoles because, as I said again, there isn't that game of like, nah, why did I get the Xbox? Because
sorry, can I ask you, did you ever play Ori in the Will of the Wisps?
No.
Okay. And you play Hollow Knight?
Play what?
Hollow Knight?
Nah.
So
Wait. So are these old school Xbox games?
no, Ori the Will of the Wisp. If you watch the Game Awards at the end of the year, it's gonna be in the top 5 games of the year, along with Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us. It's gonna be at that level in terms of because it's the best game on Xbox for sure this year.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and the soundtrack is it's just a ridiculous.
So
game.
okay, so this is a Series X exclusive.
It was exclusive to Series X, but now Microsoft has ported it to Switch. It just came out like a month ago to Switch.
Okay. Okay.
So you can
no,
try
no,
it
yeah.
out on
So wait. What's the name of the game again?
Ori
of the
and
West.
the Will of the Wisps. And HH, you like stories and everything, so you will appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no. For me, that's why we're gonna be doing a Mass Effect thing because, as I said again, like the games I go for now, like for me, I'm not like a gamer. Like for me, I am a guy of like I need to, I already play high concept games that have a very interesting story and are very very different. But you have to give me an interesting story and have to be really into it. So okay, so
But you know what though? Those types of games, they don't come out and they don't become blockbuster games anymore. Those are the games that you kind of find in something like Game Pass or PS Plus. You because they don't get the exposure that they deserve. So a game like the Talos Principle, which is basically a philosophy FPS. I've never seen that concept in a game before, but you will not find it publicized, and they'll sell it for maybe $40, but you'll find it in the Game Pass.
Well,
Right?
no, yeah, because it's like one of the best games I've played that nobody really knows about that's really indie is Limbo. That was on the marketplace on Xbox. That's an excellent game.
Oh, so you'll like Ori if you like Limbo. If you like Limbo,
Oh yeah. Like Limbo was no. This is a like in terms of just creativity and imagination. Like that is an awesome game. So let me come to Infinity with this now. So Series X and PlayStation were here. They're both here, popping off and so forth. And I think even despite the whole COVID thing, guys are still going to pop off getting this whole thing. Also, shout out to everybody in the live chat. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. I will be communicating with you very soon. Drop a like. I'll be there with you soon. So, Infinity, do you still think that PlayStation will... Okay. So, first of all, do you think PlayStation will still defeat Series X in this iteration? And do you feel that the whole next gen thing is still going to be like, let's say, as much of a big deal as was back in the day? Because we're seeing the rise of handheld gaming, we're seeing more people go over to PC gaming, and the Switch has entered into the demographic as well. So how do you think that the PS5 is going to do, the next gen consoles are going to do, and what do you think will happen between PS5 and Series X?
I think it's kind of interesting because Xbox seems like they're going for more of like a long-term investment this time around. So it's like we don't have any games right now, but you spend $500 in about a year and a half, 2 years from now, we're gonna have games coming out that apparently are gonna be very good. I mean, you got Halo coming out, which hopefully it's gonna be a lot better because now they're taking the time to make it good. And then with the whole Bethesda acquisition, so you're gonna have Bethesda games supposedly gonna be exclusive to Series X. So can you imagine like if they made like a new Skyrim for like
that's I'm gonna say that, yeah.
So it's like you have to think about these things now because right out of the gate, you know, PlayStation has the advantage because they're coming out with some pretty decent launch games. I mean, Dark Souls.
Yeah, Demon Souls is going to be amazing.
I mean, I'm sorry, Demon Souls. I always get those two mixed up in my head. But the graphics in Demon Souls are stupid. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a game look that good and run that good. So if you ask me right now, I'll say I'm going for the PlayStation just because I want to play that game. But because I have a gaming PC right now, so there's no point in me running out and getting the Xbox Series X at the moment. So really, I mean, I think it comes down to, like you said in the beginning, man, it comes down to the games that's going to be on these systems. But I would say right now, if you ask me between the two, I would go for PS5 just because I like PlayStation and their hardware, and I like how the PS5 looks compared to the Xbox Series X. just stuff like the interface and stuff. I've always felt like I liked PlayStation a bit more, but for me, I always end up getting the Xbox later on down the line. So I'll probably end up having both. It'll be interesting though. I don't know how it's going to play out, but we'll see.
But obviously, because I know that you're into PCs a lot. How relevant do you think next gen consoles are, with the fact that more and more people are now thinking of building their own PCs, doing PCs, and so forth? Do you still think next gen consoles are as relevant or can be as profitable as it was back in the days of PlayStation, PS2, and so forth?
Well, from what I've been hearing, these new consoles are very similarly spec'd to a gaming PC, like a current gaming PC. They are keeping up with it pretty well. So it's actually a really good investment. But the only thing that holding me back is the fact that I don't own a 4K TV. So you're looking at like at least a $1,500 investment on top of the $500 for the system.
Hell no!
Yeah.
So at the same time, it's like if you have a 4K TV, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it's one of those things that I have to really I gotta think about it, man. I gotta think about it.
No, but see, that's the thing. So you want me to spend $400 or pounds on a thing and $1,500 on a 4K TV to? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
To counter that point, though, let's say if you want an equivalent to these consoles, both consoles, PC wise, you're gonna buy $1,000 card. Like maybe you're gonna buy a RTX 3080. That's about maybe $600.
Yeah, about $600-700.
Yeah, if you want that and everything that accompanies the parts, the PC, it's gonna be very expensive if you want to get the PC that can do what these consoles can do. Really expensive. Just the card is more expensive than both consoles, plus 2-3 games. So, in terms, if you're a gamer, for me, if you're a gamer and you want to invest and you are open to trying a lot of games, I think either PC or Xbox with a Game Pass combination is the way to go. And occasionally, like I'll buy a Cyberpunk or I'll buy one of the exclusive cross-platform exclusives that come out. I'll invest in that. If you're a type of gamer that like the Sony blockbusters, I don't know when God of War is going to come out. Apparently, they're talking about end of the year next year. That type of game, at that point, if you're an exclusive Sony blockbuster type of player, stick to PlayStation. But anything other than that, like Game Pass has changed everything. Because you got the Game Pass, your phone is your new Switch, which is Rishi, whatever.
Yeah, like what's it called? I think they were even saying that apparently if you have like an Android,
an Android with a Razer Kishi is basically.
So Game Pass lets you continue your game on an Android device if the specs qualify. Okay.
No, on any Android device, you don't need a spec because it's streaming off of Microsoft servers. So you can play it on your laptop, you can play it on your PC or your cell phone, and it's the same game that you're playing on your Series X. So it's an all-in-one. It's basically an ecosystem that they're creating. So it goes beyond just the console. At maybe what $15 Canadian, $16 Canadian, it's crazy. But again, if you are a PS guy and you're used to playing Miles Morales, not Spider-Man in general, or any of the Naughty Dog games, or any of the Guerrilla games, I mean, the PlayStation looks a safe bet. It's just that for me, it gets a bit limited in terms of what they offer.
So let me ask you this then. So do you, with regards to the kind of the life cycle, because my thing is, I don't feel that maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel this generation was that great
The last
for
one?
either side. For PS4 or I think for Xbox One, it was horrible.
No, I think PlayStation had a great generation though.
Yeah, PlayStation pretty much took.
No. I mean, okay, maybe it's true. Okay, but like, okay, in comparison to PS3, 100% yes. But I think because I'm thinking of like those days of PS2 where it was like heavy hitter, games, heavy hitter, games. Like, because we just discussed this before. Like, Jack and Daxter was one of the million of games that was on PS2 that was a bloody good, but it was just one of many games you play on PS2. And the 360, bro, that's
Yeah.
or we're doing the stream, Mass Effect, and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, okay, for PS4, okay, and I agree, PS4 definitely won this, and I think PS4 definitely, this was definitely better than their PS3 generation. Xbox One, bro,
Xbox
the
One,
only thing I
you
use,
knew, like I was on
no,
Xbox
see,
One, but
the only thing I use this thing for, the only thing I use this controller for, is Halo Reach with this dude to the left of me. That's the only thing I use this for, is to play Halo freaking Reach, and that's it. I don't play any other games on this flipping thing apart from Halo Reach. That's it. So, what does that tell you? Yeah.
that was true. Like me personally, I do the games I used to play were I like fighting games too, RPGs and fighting games. So when I just played, but games that you could find elsewhere, but Tekken 7, MK, Killer Instinct, that I like those type of games. But when Game Pass came in, I think that was the game changer in terms of Xbox, man. I think that was the game changer.
Wait, so just remind me again. So Game Pass is you pay a fee and you have access to all these kinds of games via the internet.
No, you basically have access to the games. You can download them as if they're yours. So you download them on your. The thing is, if you like, let's say I go to Game Pass, I open up Game Pass, I see Gears 5. I download Gears 5, and then I play Gears 5 as long as it's on Game Pass. The thing is, all Microsoft games are perennially on Game Pass, so they don't get removed. But let's say when I had Devil May Cry 5, I played it on Game Pass. It was on Game Pass. It was there for maybe a year, and then they removed it, and they tell you, well, it's going to leave Game Pass in a month or two.
And then, so the Game Pass, basically, you basically pay a specific fee a month, and then you get access to all this stuff.
It's like Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
okay.
Netflix. Okay. It's just that you get to download the games, and they stay longer.
Okay. So, all right, man. So, look, man. Thank you. So, Papa, have you played all three Mass Effect games?
Yo, I never played a Mass Effect game. Oh my god, man. Yeah, man, do your prayers. I never.
You need to play it tonight, like or after the stream. Like,
actually, I think
let's go play it after the stream.
Another plug for Game Pass. They're all included in Game Pass right now, but I never played.
Bro, again, obviously, because I think which is why I just said, like, it's good to have here, because I don't want, because we're going to spoil the whole game. So,
no,
trust me, Papa, I'm telling you right now.
If it's good, I'll play it.
You have to. If you're into RPG storylines and stuff and a whole new experience, this is essential. It is, literally, you have to play this game. Now, if you're not into RPGs, fine. If you're into RPGs, it is, for me, next to Skyrim, the most essential RPG game that you have to play. So literally, get to Game Pass and download it and start playing it tonight, and then tell me that, yo, HH, you were right, that game is money. Those games are money. I mean, we could talk about Mass Effect 3, but those two games, you definitely have to play. So look, man, Papa, man, thank you very much for joining us and giving us, and hopefully I'll definitely try and invite you next time when we do another gaming stream, man.
Anytime, man. And HH, one message. Just stop clowning on Man United, man. Stop clowning on my boys, man. You can clown on all you want, but not my guys, man.
Look, okay, I'll do my best. I'll do my best, man. All right, man.
All right, peace.
Later, man.
Later.
All right, man. So now it's time for that talk. It's time for that real talk, man. And we're going to start at the beginning. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We just wanted to have like a bit of an early gaming discussion, general thoughts and discussion. But now it's not down to what is the title of this stream, which is the Mass Effect series. But I want to start at the very beginning. Infinity. I want to start at the very core, like the genesis. You always have to, before you dive into the whole thing, I want to start the genesis. So before even I knew about Mass Effect 1, do you know where I want to start 2020? I want to start with Fable. Remember that
Fable?
game?
You know what? I actually never played Fable.
Good. Don't ever play it. Don't touch that game. I want to start at Fable because that's where it all started. As I said again, my favorite genre, apart from football management games, are RPGs. always, because for me, I'm a film junkie. I am obsessed with films and movies, as Infinity knows. And which is why I say, like, making a video game movie is stupid. Nobody wants to watch a flipping Uncharted film because it's just a flipping bomb ass Indiana Jones.
Waste of time. Waste of
No,
time.
no, I'm here to. No, Uncharted is about playing the freaking game. It's not about watching Tom Holland jump up and down as Nathan Drake. Heck no. But
Except for Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was excellent.
Mortal Kombat was a very good film. Still the best video game film. Still the best video game film. So it started with Fable because I was like, my gosh, wow. You have the opportunity to be this guy. If you get caught, there are scars upon you, and everything you do has an effect. Your choices, again, your choices have an effect. That was the first one. I was like, oh my God, I can be good or evil and everything. Suffice to say, hyped up was Fable, played it, all lies. All lies. Game, everything that's loser, pizza, bricking you, promised, bunch of lies. Total and utter crap. And I was disappointed. I was like, okay, there we go. So that was like, I will never have that dream RPG. Then I can't remember how I heard about it, because I think basically for me, I always used to go on to GameSpot IGN. This was way back in the day when I used to go on to GameSpot and IGN. And I don't even know where it was, because you always look gaming this, massive, okay, new RPG. So anytime I just see the word RPG, okay, look, let me see what's what. The thing that first struck me was the customization and how detailed the customization was. I was like, oh, damn, this is actually quite deep. And then they then said, this is sci-fi. Now, I was always about, sword and shield. But I was like, whoa, a sci-fi game where, you can customize the guy. And then it brought back, this is why I started with Fable. Your choices affect the outcome. I was like, oh, this is another Fable thing where they promise much and don't deliver anything. So, when did you first hear about Mass Effect? When did you first come across the first Mass Effect?
I think I don't remember where I saw the video. It might have been an E3 video or a demo or something like that. When they were showing.
Wait, sorry, real quick. Darian, stay the heck away from Mass Effect 3. Do not touch Mass Effect 3. I am begging you. Don't touch it. You are lucky. You've played the 2 Mass Effects. Keep it as that. Forget that third game. It's trash. Sorry, continue.
No, to be honest, like I never been an RPG guy, but I did play. I think the previous Bioware game was Knights of the Old Republic on the original Xbox. So I kind of knew about Bioware, and then I heard they were making another game. So I think, they showed like some kind of a video at E3, I think it was, and it was like, it literally looked like a movie. Like I think it was a simple like little snippet they made, like a little demo, and it was 2 characters talking, and it showed like the little wheel that you could select what you want to say, and these people were talking like people in a movie. And it just blew my mind because I've never seen any game up to that point that literally looked like it was like you were watching like a literally like almost like you were in like a Star Wars movie. So I remember that was the first time that I saw that game, and I was like, man, when this comes out, it could be something serious. So that put the whole game on my radar for me.
So yeah, because that's actually interesting because you said that you were never really an RPG guy. So
no,
and this is where we now link in. Even if I'm more of an RPG guy than you, what we both share is a love for movies. And I think, just as you said, because obviously I saw things, but when I first saw the first kind of teaser, I was like, this looks like a movie. This looks like a film. Like the way these guys are interacting and things that you're saying, this looks like a Blade Runner. This looks like a Minority Report, that kind of vibe and so forth. And I was like, oh, because again, remember, I just gave you the example of Fable. I've seen many stuff with great trailers, and the game or whatever turns up being gutter trash. So when you saw that trailer and your teaser and so forth, were you like, aha, this is the game I need to roll through? And you were like, I'm all in. Or were you still a bit, I'm not really an RPG guy, unsure? How sure were you that, this game is going to be money?
No, I was 100% sure because Did you play Knights of the Old Republic?
Here's my quick story on that's the whole Republic.
Yeah.
People were hyping it. They're talking about boom, boom, boom. I think I got the demo, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
graphics are amazing. Things are gaming. This looks amazing." Then it then got to the fighting. I was like, "Excuse me," because in my mind, I just tuned in my mind that okay, I've got my lightsaber. A is A, B is B. So it just then when it got to this, okay, this is like turn-based combat. I was like, "Heck no!" And to this day, I've never played Knights of the Old Republic. See, in my older age, I will probably revisit it and now sort of retrade in my mind as to this is how the because look, I've played Final Fantasy, so I'm not turned off by it. It's just that I prefer the kind of real time combat. But if let's say I have time now, I can then retrain my brain and say, okay, because many people have said the RPG elements in that are amazing. So
It's really,
something
I
I'm
mean,
gonna revisit.
it's really like at first, like I'm the same way. Like I don't like turn-based combat, but the thing is, I stuck with it because I think I borrowed it from somebody, and it was the only game I had at the time. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just keep playing it and see if I can get into it. And after the first couple hours, man, I just didn't have a problem with it. I got used to it, and I enjoyed the shit out of that game. That was a really good game. I figured out the twist about halfway through though, and that kind of ruined it.
Okay.
But
So
other than
okay,
that-
so it was Bioware that made Knights of the Old Republic, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Wait, I mean, yeah, live chat. Was it who made Knights of the Old Republic? Was it Bioware or not? Because I know they
Almost
did
positive.
they did what's the name of that? Dragons. Is it Dragon's Age?
Dragon's Age.
Yeah, I think
they
yeah,
did
they,
that.
they did that. But yeah, live chat tells did they do Knights of the Old Republic? So look, we get the game now. The first thing that I did in you doing the game is the customization, and what struck me was how detailed the customizing was. And I'll tell you the truth, Tony, I spent ages customizing my guy. Because
Everybody
from
did.
the eyes, the eyebrows, the eyelids, the cheekbones, I spent ages because I was like, oh, look at all the. Because see, remember this came out before Skyrim,
Dude.
so and also I've not played those many RPG games on PC, so this was the first time that I saw customization on this level of detail like this. I was like, oh shit, wow, this is quite deep.
Let me
Now,
tell you
this
what I
is-
did, man. Let me tell you what I did. This was back when I was in high school, so I had like a little school ID.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was playing the game, and I was doing the customization, and I put the picture of my school ID next to the TV, and I kept.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to make myself the character look
See,
exactly like
I
me.
did the opposite. See, my God damn it! Means I wish I took a picture of my guy. I made my guy completely. Basically, I said, what do I want the main character to look like? So basically, this guy looks more like a. So basically, he has no eyebrows. He's got like a massive. Basically, his face is all mangly and rough, and it's got like a very hardened face. So it's like, you know what? I just want this. I want it to be almost like Snake Plissken or John Rambo. I want him to look really down on because we're like, because people will say, oh, no, just make yourself. I'm like, no, this is my fantasy hero guy, so I want him to look
Yeah.
like what would a cool hero look like in a sci-fi movie that I want him to look like. So that's what I made him as, like if a guy that looks really mean, So come back to this dude.
So you went Paragon, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so how close did your guy look like you then? Afterwards, was he like, oh, this actually looks a lot like me?
I got pretty damn close, to be honest, man. Like a couple things I couldn't get, but I mean, for the most part, it looked like me. Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty close.
Okay, so now this was the moment that I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. Like, okay, like, because you always have that moments in a game where you're like, oh shit, all right, we're not here. Was how you have the intro and you see a guy inside the ship and everything, and then when you get into the ship and stuff, and then you see your guy for the first time. I was
Yes. And the music swells up and the camera pans around and you see your guy.
I was like, this is okay. We're not entering different territory now. Like, this is because I was like, okay, these guys, this isn't like Fable, Dragon's Age. This is like, okay, these guys, this is a movie now. And again, because we are movie guys, the way that they got that kind of film intro, presenting your hero kind of thing. I was like, oh shit, these guys are hitting that spot. So when I just saw my guy that I spent ages creating and saw him now in the context of the game, I was like, man, this is crazy. This is
It was
this is crazy.
nothing. There was nothing that came close to that at the time.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like, because this is what guys you have to realize that I'll be real with you. I'll go a step further. Has there been anything like Mass Effect since? You see, Cyberpunk is trying to be like, I think Cyberpunk is looking to be something similar to Mass Effect. But I don't think there's anything that has been quite like Mass Effect in sense of we are putting you into a film situation where it's a guy you've created and you feel serious agency with the guy that you're controlling. I don't think any other RPG has done that.
I mean, I'm kind of holding my breath in Cyberpunk because I'm excited for that game, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell how it's going to come out, but yeah, I think that was the beginning, man. I mean, all games now, like all RPGs, have a character customization at the beginning. All this, they took all that from Mass Effect, but I mean, there was a couple games that did it, but
not to the
I think it was
detail.
Not to that extent. Yeah, it was. I think it was Unreal Engine 3 was a big deal at the time, and it was just like literally like almost photorealistic. Like the graphics were just like ridiculous at the time, but just the very idea and the concept of like putting yourself into like a high budget sci-fi movie that was based on like 70s and 80s sci-fi, and that's my jam, man. That's stuff that I grew up on. So for me, that was like, it was a revolution at the time.
So I mean, look, let's just even get down into the game. You see, for me, Mass Effect was buggy. Like, there were definitely a few bugs within the game and so forth, and especially when you go into a few of the levels and everything, and Also, guys, by the way, spoilers alert. We're going to be spoiling everything in the game. So if you've not played Mass Effect, please don't continue this stream. If you've not played Mass Effect, you're crazy because you should have already played Mass Effect. But if you've not played Mass Effect, please go off the stream and play Mass Effect tonight because we're going to spoil everything.
Yeah, we're going to go deep.
Yeah, I mean, my thing was, okay, so no, actually no. So let's even go into the big thing, which is the whole conversation wheel thing. Because see, this was where I bring in Fable. And I was like, a big thing for me is choices. How will your choices affect things? And one of the things that I was like, wow, was when you had to make certain choices, and I was like, I had to pause. I was like, shit, what if I do that? Whatever. And I was like, because they had created such a scenario where you really had strong relationships with different characters. And because I grew so attached to my character, therefore I grew attached to the character that my character was attached to. Anytime you have to make a particular decision that could affect that character, you're like, oh shit, damn. Wow. Like, and no other game really has done that in terms of really making those relationships mean something and make them feel so real. So for me, so talk to me about how you felt they dealt with the conversation wheel, relationships with the other characters and everything, which was pretty much revolutionary.
Well, I think I don't know if it was by design or the way that they thought about the game, but like the fact that you can like talk to people in between main missions, like on your ship. I mean, literally, like I was always talking to people. Like I right after the mission, I would go down to the basement and talk to like Ashley, and they would have long, drawn out conversations, and you could talk to them about anything really. And I think that way of like character development, it's like, man, this is like these people felt real, and it was all fully voiced, and it was all like fully acted, and the voice acting was excellent, and just the fact that you can go on different paths throughout the conversation about what you wanted to talk about. I mean, they all would end at a certain point, which they're not actual humans, so it has to. But
Yeah.
they had enough there so that you got out of the game like what you want to put into it. Like you can just sit there and talk to somebody, and they'll tell you the family history about where they came from and what planets they lived on and stuff like that. It's all there. Like you don't have to actually talk to them, but the fact that it has all that.
See, this the thing is like maybe it's because of the sets on the characters. It's like when I played Skyrim, a lot of the characters I was like, okay, look, man, I don't really give a crap about what this guy is saying. This guy was just going on about something. I was like, bruh, I don't care. Just give me my shield, my sword, so I can just get out of here. But the thing about Mass Effect was the world was so rich. The characters were so well drawn. It was so interesting, the backstory they gave to all of the characters, that I generally spent ages really forming a relationship with Rex, with Jack, with Ashley, with Garrus, with all of these dudes, with Joker and everything. Because I was like, oh wow, man, you're really kind of bonding with these dudes. You're really kind of bonding with these guys. And that goes to the testament of the game, because I think one thing that people overlook about Mass Effect, apart from it's revolutionary, it's innovative, it's got good RPG elements, is the world is really good. The world is very well developed. And because the world is very well developed, it makes you invest in it. And it really makes you invest into the characters. So as I said again, like for most RPGs, I'm like, okay, I can't be bothered. I just want to just go on to the next mission. But Mass Effect actually made you care about but you know what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Put it this way. If, let's say, my character was a blank canvas and he was just like a generic guy, I don't think I would care about those characters. Because my character was me, something that I created, and I could forge his character and who he was, it made me care about the relationship I had with. Because you know what it was? Every single time you were in the conversation wheel, I was just amazed that whenever it went to my character, oh my gosh, this guy has real expressions. I look at that. Look at how he's happy, he's sad, he's angry. So I wanted just to conversate because I was just amazed by how realistic they made the character that I created in the customization, which is not what you get in any other game.
Yeah, no, it's the presentation of this game it's off the charts, man. Like you can actually, if you removed all the gameplay, like the text and everything like that, and you can literally watch this whole game as a movie, and you wouldn't know any different.
You see, and then this is where I go, because obviously before we go to let's just go with Mass Effect. You see, for me, there were bugs. Is it what it is? That's why I'm so happy, and we'll hopefully get to this afterwards. The whole Remastered Edition coming soon. But obviously, there were bugs in the game, and it didn't really run smoothly, and there were a few glitches here and there. But the story, similar to Halo 1, I said Halo 1 has a great story. That's a great sci-fi story, the story of Halo 1. The story of Mass Effect and the way that it goes from the beginning to the end, I think is amazing. From how, Seraph is presented as a villain, the kind of villain that he is, because I thought he was a really good villain. But for me, it's like, bro, it's the best ending it's one of the best endings to any game. Was when, because I even have the song on my iPod, what's it called, From the Wreckage. When the whole ship it crashes and then you think that your guy is dead. I'll be real with you. I was like, if you dare kill my guy, I'm gonna break this freaking 360 pad in two. If you dare kill my dude, I will. If I told you, people cook them crazy. Half Hope Shepard is the greatest video game character of all time, hands down. Half Hope Shepard there is nobody that comes close to Half Hope Shepard. So when you basically see a guy walk through the wreckage and he's like, I was like, bro, this game has just peaked. Because again, it's like a movie, and there is no other game that gives you that experience. Because even if you throw Solid Snake, you throw Link, you throw Nathan Drake, and all these dudes, yeah, it's all cool, but those guys aren't as cool as Half Hope Shepard, because this is a guy that I created. Because not only did I create what he looks like, I also made him go down a path that I wanted. by making him no. My guy would choose this. He would choose this. He would punch this guy in the face. He would say F it to this guy. So building up that character, it's like, oh man, wow. So how are your feelings and emotions when the ending came through?
It was crazy, man, because like there's something about the way they did that, man. It's interesting because you've been through so much, you've done so much, you've met so many characters, you've been to so many planets. You know this crazy threat is coming. You're probably dead. Your crew members are looking for you, and you're like, "What the hell is going to happen now?" Then you pop out of the wreckage. That music swells up, and it's magical, man. It's like one of the best ways to end a game. I think there's a few games like that I remember the ending to because they're so good. And Mass Effect 1 is like one of those games. It's like Mass Effect 1, Halo 1, and what's the other one? There's another one too. But I gotta give props to Bioware, man, because I don't know how they did that. Because the thing is, like, when I first heard about Mass Effect, I'm like, this is just kind of like going to be like a Star Wars kind of rip-off kind of thing. But these guys came through, man. They came through with their own universe. It was interesting. They had diverse planets, diverse armors, diverse weapons, diverse characters. The freaking game, like, in the menu, you can go in and, like, read codex.
Yeah.
And, like, they're all professionally, like, narrated, and you can find out about different alien types. And, dude, the aliens... Have you ever seen aliens that creative in a game?
Bro, no. What? Yeah, when you go to the Citadel and he starts talking to all of the different aliens in the Citadel, I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is some quality stuff in terms of just, I say, the customization and the look of the different aliens and the characters and their backstory, the voice acting. Like, this is like basically the quality of the world and how well and how detailed it's built. I'm like, this is bloody amazing. This is bloody amazing. And I think the thing about it was that I think I kept on going back to this whole thing of a movie feeling because, as I said again, I'm not like a gamer. I love games, but I'm not like a hardcore gamer. So a game that I really like, you need to bring a film element into it. And what gives Mass Effect, because again, like someone said that oh, are they saying go to RPG including? Yes, I am. Because no offense to Japanese RPGs and everything, because the Japanese guys do amazing RPGs. What makes this better than any other Japanese RPG is because of the movie element that this brings, and this was innovative. See, Japanese RPGs still live within the paradigm of RPGs, and they still follow the rules. Not saying there was, they just followed the rules of what it means to be an RPG. Mass Effect broke those rules and stepped outside of that paradigm and said, no, you know what? We're not gonna be the standard RPG. We're gonna give you a unique experience and a unique sci-fi movie experience that will set ourselves apart from Final Fantasy, flipping Dragon Age, and all the other RPGs that just follow the same tropes. So, yeah, man, no, it's like, and the thing about it is that because the world was so unique and people were so unique, it's created a cult following. Because after that, people were like, you wouldn't have the same experience that I had. Almost everybody's experience of the game would be different. And that's the thing. And how many RPGs can you say where like in my RPG, my guy looks completely different, my choices and my journey is completely different, and the kind of relations that I forge are completely different. How many RPGs can say that? Not a lot.
No, I think there's something specific about American-made RPGs and the way that they go about doing things, because it all depends on the influences, man. Because if you like Blade Runner, Star Wars, Star Trek, these type of movies and media, this game was made for those people, like specifically. And I feel like Japanese RPGs do their own thing, and they tend to be a whole completely different way of going about things. But that's fine. It's I like some Japanese RPGs, but I feel like as far as Western RPGs go, the Mass Effect might be the best one. It might be the best one.
Oh no, I mean yeah, for sure. So with Mass Effect coming into a close and everything, and I said again, like for me, when I played that, I was like, you know what, this is obviously one of my favorite games of all time, 100%. So we obviously had to now come over to Mass Effect 2.
Just
Now,
real quick, I want to show you something real quick.
okay, go for it.
I still have my original.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's
My original
mine is in my
disc.
is in my family house. Yeah. I still have mine. I
This
still
thing
have
is in
mine.
good condition too.
I still have mine. I still have mine. Oh yeah, no, because I don't think I have the case, but I have
I don't
the
have the
disc.
case.
Yeah,
I wish I
I'll,
still
I'll,
did.
no, wait, because I still have my Halo. No, I still have my Halo 2 case and disc.
Nice. I moved, man, and I left all that behind. I wish
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kept
no, no.
it.
I still have. Yeah, for me, it's still kept in a very safe place. Yeah, I still have my Halo 2 case and disc. So Mass Effect 2. So after Mass Effect, I was like, you know what? I'm loving this boom and everything. So how excited were you when you heard about okay, a Mass Effect 2 is out? So were you like, okay, there is no way that they can top this, or were you like, oh my gosh, man, these guys are gonna take things to the next level?
Well, the thing is, I mean, Mass Effect 1 was a fantastic game, but you can see that there was some issues with it.
Yes.
Like I think you were mentioning earlier, like the thing about it was that it was very, very RPG. It's like so the shooting wasn't quite as good as a regular shooting game would be. It was kind of hit or miss. There was some pop-in issues with the graphics.
You know, no, because I always say like the thing with Mass Effect, look, it was popping, but you cannot deny that there were definitely bugs within the game. Like 100%, there were the bugs within the game, so it wasn't
Yeah.
really flowing through. And because the game was so good, if the game wasn't so good, then I'd be like, man, this game has too many bugs and everything. I don't really know. But because the game was so good, you sort of forgave all the bugs that the game had. But as you said, it wasn't perfect in terms of gaming mechanics. So in terms of the technicalities and so forth, it wasn't perfect. So when we now came over to Mass Effect 2, I think we could even start it. The first thing that you noticed was, wow, the improvement of the gameplay was. It was like, damn. Straight off the bat, it's like, geez, the gameplay has just vastly improved.
Oh, the gameplay was much better. I mean, it felt like almost like a Gears of War type game because of the way the gunplay was so much better in Mass Effect 2 because you had the cover mechanics and all that stuff. It was so much smoother, a lot more fun, and the fact that they added like a whole new category of weapons to everything. Like I remember, I think they did a demo showing like an early build of Mass Effect 2, and I was like, man, these guys are really going in and fixing all the issues. We could have something really, really serious here if these guys come through with it. And they did. The series peaked, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you see, this is what I've always said is that I prefer the story, the experience and the story experience of Mass Effect 1. I prefer, but
I agree
hands
with that,
down,
yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is a better game in terms of like just better made. Like if I was objectively grading it, Mass Effect 2 is a better game in almost every regard than Mass Effect 1. Just that personally, in a biased way, I prefer Mass Effect 1. But yeah, the gameplay was far better. It was far smoother. How you could go through guns was a lot better. But let's forget that intro.
The end. Yes, I was just gonna bring that up for.
You see, again, I mean no disrespect to Japanese RPGs or any other RPGs. No flipping Japanese RPG with their sequel has that intro because you're dealing with people that are making this a movie. Because in their mind is these guys are movie fans. They're sci-fi fans. So they're like, you know what? This is a sequel. And we need to start it like how a sequel should start. And the way that thing started, we're like, oh, is my guy dead? Is he not dead? How he's basically floating off in space. And you now see him then start to reconstruct him. Because again, If this was flipping Joe Blogs or whatever, I wouldn't care. The fact that it's half Hope Shepherd, the fact that it's Infinity's Limit Shepherd, is like you have a special bond with this dude they don't have with any other dude. So when I'm seeing my guy float on his face, I'm like, oh shit, please, what the heck is happening with my flipping boy, man? So that intro was money because it just raised the stakes and it showed you that we realize that this is part two, similar to Terminator 2 or Back to the Future 2, like two of our favorite films. Where, because what's it called? What's Stan Winston? He said that what you do in a sequel is you give people what they liked about the first film, but you raise the stakes and you just do things more and just take things to the next level. And that is what Mass Effect 2 they said, okay, we know that you love the conversational will, the relationships, the bonds you have with people, the choices, but we're going to expand the story. We're going to raise the stakes. We're going to now make the decisions a lot more difficult. You now have to now build a crew. There's a larger crew now, and you now have more moving pieces to deal with. So just in terms of a part two, I was like, my God. What is it?
It's clever the way they did it because like they know that you have an attachment to your crew, your ship, all these things, and the fact that in the beginning of the game, your ship gets shot down, your crew is dying,
Yeah.
and then you might be dead.
Yeah.
That's a bold way to start a game, man. I think they were talking about it too. Like in the beginning, like they were saying they were trying to make it like Empire Strikes Back, like sort of like this is like the dark second chapter of the series, and it's almost all the more hurtful when you think about what's happening in the third one. But
No, don't, not yet, not yet.
It took us a while to talk about this, by the way, because of that. But I mean, damn, like that was probably like one of the most intense openings that I can remember for a video game.
It was because I was like, when you just saw that thing open, you were like, oh fuck, like, yeah, like basically, I was almost like, okay, what is in store for our character in this? And I think that they realized that Mass Effect 1 is cool, but we want to try and push you to the edge and push you over to the edge. But I just think that, what struck me was, I just think that from a technical standpoint, like gameplay wise, because I ran into a lot of trouble in Mass Effect 1, not because of I didn't know what to do, because the gameplay was so awkward. So it made it a lot more difficult.
That's a good word for it. Yeah, it was awkward.
Awkward. It was awkward. But in this there was zero awkwardness. Everything was so if you messed up, it was down to you. It was not down to the game being awkward. It was down to you messing up. So, and that's what I like. Where okay, I messed up. It's on me, not because the game is pretty much glitching. And bro, talk to me about that end, man. Like what's it called? Suicide mission.
Man, I really. It's hard.
Do you know why I was nervous? Because I was like, oh my gosh, like who do I pick? Who do I not want to pick? Who do I want to? Because obviously, because I had a romance with Jack. So Jack was my love interest. I was like, look, man, Jack, that's my one and everything. So, but
hey, man, she got hair in part 3, and man, she looks completely different with hair.
Yeah, look, we'll get there. So no, but you see, again, even if I loved the ending in part 1, man, that part 2 ending was money. That part 2, because especially when you saw yourself in the ship and you just see a guy walking, because he's basically wearing like his white thing, and he basically stares out of like the ship, and you basically see all those guys coming through. You're like, oh, bro. Because again, like Empire Strikes Back and Back to the Future 2, where you end on that crazy cliffhanger, and like, oh geez, this just sets things up beautifully for part 3. But yeah, like, wait, have you ever played Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver?
I haven't, man. I need to.
Bro, you need, because I recommended it to another one of my guys that was here. Because just about great sequels. Because for me, like, you see, the thing about a lot of gaming sequels or part twos is they're just a part two. It's like for me, Halo 2 was just about Xbox Live, really, and so forth. And like, MGS2 was all over the place. I don't know whether there are many, again, guys in the live chat, you can tell me. I don't know many gaming sequels that are better than this in terms of following up what was a great game, a cult game, and literally almost blowing it out of the water and being so good on a whole other level. Because let's be real, MGS2, because remember, because I watched my brothers play MGS because I'm really into MGS as much as them. MGS2 wasn't really better than MGS1 from what I saw. Freaking Halo 1 was better than Halo 2. Easily. Halo 1 is the best in the series. So how many sequels? And that's the thing in sequels. So it's not about a part 2 being just a good game. It's about following up a great game. Which is why T2 is an amazing sequel, because T2 followed up an amazing film, because Terminator 1 was an amazing film. Same thing with Back to the Future 2. Back to the Future 1 was an amazing game, and Part 2 just took them to the other level. So, how many gaming sequels are as good as Mass Effect 2?
I mean, they're few and far between, man. These guys at Bioware, they have an understanding, man. Like, they really understood like what they need to improve on, and they came hard this time, man. It's too bad it didn't pan out, but I mean, what I liked about Mass Effect 2 was that like the story itself wasn't really that front and center. It was more about rebuilding your crew, getting back out there, and just meeting like these crazy like it was all leading up to that suicide mission. So in the back of your mind, you're always like, man, that suicide mission, it's coming. We got to get these guys together. And let me just say, man, like some of the characters in Mass Effect 2 are some of the most interesting characters I think I've ever met.
Amazing. Like what's it called? Like Samara, the guy that was like kind of acrobatic kind of thingy dude. No, like, bro, whoever is the artist or the artists or the writers in this, those guys are money, because as you just said again, some of the characters in this, in the way that they are drawn and the characterization is flipping amazing. It's absolutely amazing,
Just like Jack's mission alone, like going into that prison and like going through all that to get her out. Like every single member had like a memorable ass mission. Like everyone of your teammates was like, holy shit.
No, but you see, that is why I say that this is a better game than Part 1. But I enjoyed Part 1 more than Part 2 because, as you said, the story wasn't front and center. This felt more like an action game. The RPG was still there, but this felt more like an action RPG. Mass Effect 1 was an RPG. Like Mass Effect 1, the main core of that whole thing was the story. So no, this is a sci-fi pure RPG, and it's all about choices, and the story is the heart and center of it. I think in this, they said, no, we want to manage the action and the RPG, which is why, oh my God, I was like, maybe this was a precursor to the trash that we're going to now have to deal with afterwards, man. But before we even get there, the way that this ends, I was like, and I say, see, this is when things not get messed up. So when it ends, you're like, guys, Tony, man, these guys could do something very unique. Because we talk about the Star Wars trilogy, you talk about the Lord of the Rings trilogy, all these other trilogies, where you're like, wow, the beginning, middle, end. And you're like, for the first time in gaming history, the choices you make in the first game, the choices you make in the second game, and then the choices you now make in the third game will all come to a head to have an ending. And several people will all have different endings based on the choices they made in the first game, the second game, and then the third game. They will all connect, because that was what was so beautiful about Part 2, is the choices you made in Part 1 affected the kinds of relationships and the bonds you had in Part 2. Because what they did, because remember, because in Part 2 you had to you imported your file. So it's got all of the memory and all of
Yes,
the
I
data
remember
you
that.
had from part one, which means we now have registered all of your choices, have input that data into the game, so it's all related to what you did in part one. So you're like, oh my god. So the ultimate ending you have is all going to be dependent on, man, remember that choice you made in part one, bro? This is why you're here in the same situation in part one. Remember that choice you made in the middle of part two? That's why you're here in part three. You're like, oh my god, man, this could be one of the most unique experiences in any freaking game. Where, wow, all the choices I've made in 3 games leads me to this amazing ending.
I mean, as far as the ending goes, man, like I don't think I've ever been hit as hard because like I lost a lot of people in that suicide mission, man. I don't
Damn.
know if I didn't, because from what I understand, like you had to have gone through and talked to them and did specific missions to keep some of them alive. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
do that. I mainlined the game. So by the time I got to the suicide mission, I was like, my God, these guys are dying left and right. And I was like, oh my God, he died. No, wait, no, now this guy died. No, 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 this guy died. I couldn't even keep up with the amount of people that were dying. It was so exhausting, but
Yeah,
in a good
oh,
way.
no, no,
Like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
goodness.
I think I lost one dude. I can't remember. I think it was actually the dude that I really liked. I think it was one dude that I lost, but everyone I think sort of made it. But I think it was one that I lost. I think yeah, you had to speak to them and do things right in order for them
Yeah.
to keep them alive. But the thing, that's the beauty about it, is that everybody had a different experience, and in most games, like, oh, it's just linear and everybody just has the same thing because you are fixed to one story. But the fact that, okay, in your whole thing, you lost guys, which is what makes it so cool, because there isn't a, oh, this is the right way to do it. No, based on how you played the game, guys were lost, and that was just the beauty about it. All right, let's deal with this trash, man. Let's deal with this let's deal with this piece of shit, man.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna get some to drink real quick. Be right back.
all right, cool, man. So let me even put it up right now. Um, Mass Effect 3. So while my guy Tony B go get something to drink, let me set things up right now, man. Um, I was excited, guys. There has I have not had, but see, it's complicated because I've got to take it through a timeline. Because let's go through the freaking timeline here. The moment that Mass Effect finished, the moment I finished Mass Effect 2, I was either there's no game that I've been more excited about than Mass Effect 3. No game. Nothing. There is no game in history I was more hyped for than Mass Effect 3 the moment I finished Mass Effect 2. But we have to go through this timeline. Because as we came closer to Mass Effect 3, I heard about EA. And we heard about EA's involvement with Bioware. And I was hearing more and more about how the game was going to be made and how it was going to be changed. And the more and more I heard, I was like, don't do this. Don't do this. I didn't go through all those choices in part one, all the choices in part two for you to just fuck me up like this. Please no. Please no. But lo and behold, because see, that's the thing, that even before I played the game, I was already fearful because I heard that EA rushed BioWare. And I heard that there was a online version of the game. So I was like, so there's an online version of this game, and what was being promoted was how action-packed the game was. I was like, what the flying fuck? I mean, what? So the thing, Tony, was that it didn't hit me as hard because I was already trepidatious before I played the game, because I was already like, ah. But then you always have hope. Hey, you always have hope. That, okay, hey, maybe it's not true. Maybe, when you play the game, it's really going to sort of live up to everything, bro. When I knew that something was up, was I was like,
I mean, I think I remember you hit me up on WhatsApp. I think about this. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, no, but actually, I don't think you do it. But the very early moments was, bro, wait, this whole scanning of planets, this is going really quick, and things seem to be moving very quickly in this game, and all, even almost forgot about Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is the second game that I've spent most time on. I did every single thing on Mass Effect 2. I mined every planet. I did every single thing. Because there were times when I'd play Mass Effect 2 from like 7 p.m. to like 2, 3 a.m. at night. I would literally not go to sleep. I'd play it like all night because I did every single thing on Mass Effect 2. So I was worried when in Mass Effect 3, like, bro, the way that you're mining planets in this whole thing, this stuff is going like quick. It's going like super quick. I was like, wait, all the slow burn RPG elements that made Mass Effect 1 and 2 so good, they seem to be gone out the window. So like, okay. And then the swiftness to how you were already in the final parts of the game, I was like, oh fuck. Wow. Like, this isn't a Mass Effect game. This is the third game. This is the final game. And literally, in the space of a few seconds, look left, look right, you're already towards the end of the game. So, tell me your emotions, man, of this piece of shit. When you put this crap in.
I think like you, I was extremely excited, man. Like I noticed the problem started happening when I was hearing talks about a demo coming out, and people were saying how in the demo there's a specific gameplay mode called I think it was just action. It was like RPG story and then action. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And by this point, I already heard about EA being involved, so I was doubly worried. So the demo came out, and geez, man, like, so you tell me that I'm playing an RPG game whereby I can just like skip past all the dialogue and just play it like an action game?
Oh wow.
Like, I think that's what it was, wasn't it? It was like, it was some kind of a mode where you don't have to deal with any other RPG elements.
Well, for me, I didn't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised that existed, and the fact that that's existed just shows you why Bioware and these guys are just pieces of trash. It just shows you why these guys are just pieces of absolute gutter trash, because it's like all that stuff you built in the first two games, and the fact that you promise people that every choice you make is going to affect what ending you have in Mass Effect 3, they were all lies. And that was the most painful thing. That was the thing that just pained me the most, where I was like, my God, man, it would be such an amazing experience to see the kind of ending I have. Who will I lose? Who will I keep? And what kind of consequences would I have to deal with based on the choices that I made in part 1 and part 2? So that's what makes it so worse. That everything you did in part 1 and part 2, it didn't mean anything. Because that stupid ending, that absolutely stupid ending with that piece of crap kid, like, where did that kid come from? Who is this kid?
Listen, man, like, I disagree with you a little bit, not on the ending, but I think that the thing about Mass Effect 3 is that, like, almost everything leading up to the ending I thought was actually pretty damn good. Like, I mean, there's parts in terms of, like, I mean, the beginning of the game is actually pretty good. Like, it starts off with a bang. Like, the Reapers are here on Earth. Earth is getting destroyed. You got to get the hell off the planet. And it's like, whoa. So I'm leaving Earth right now, and Earth is getting attacked by the Reapers? That was a crazy intro, man. And it's just like the whole, like, vibe of the entire game.
There were good moments there. There were like the whole thing with the war, and you had to choose guys to help you in the war against the Reapers and everything.
Yeah, man. Like, the whole vibe of the game was like, oh my God, the world is ending. Like, I am seeing the last stand of, like, the universe. Like, this is crazy. Like, There's a couple good missions, man, in that thing. Like I think one of them when you go to like the Asari homeworld, and this is the first time you're seeing it like throughout any of the games, and it's burning. Like you're seeing, you're like looking around, there's reapers everywhere. Like man, this used to be like a beautiful place, man.
Yeah.
And it's like man, like that feeling of like dread, like oh my god, like everything is on my shoulders, everything is going to shit. I gotta figure out how to solve this problem, and it's like it has some good moments, man. But dude, like it's actually hard to talk about because like a lot of people say that like they have like scars from like Star Wars and the way that whole situation turned out. This is like my Star Wars, man. Like it's hard for me to talk about like what happened with Mass Effect 3 because it's so painful because it could have been the best sci-fi game like ever made if they had stuck the landing on this thing.
No, you're thinking too small. Not best sci-fi game. Tell me, if they had stuck the landing and Mass Effect 3 was a truly amazing game and it was a step up from Mass Effect 2, there isn't a gaming franchise in terms of a trilogy that would beat this in terms of a unique experience. Now,
in terms of what it did, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and okay, of course you expect the Halo franchise for what it's done and its impact out and everything, but in terms of an experience of creating there's no game that would have done this in terms of the choices you make in the first game, in the second game, and the third game all connects to having a unique ending that is tailor-made based on the choices that you've made in 3 games. There's no game that can say that. So that in itself would put it in a very unique place and category in terms of gaming, which is why it makes it so much painful and so sickening that these morons didn't realize what they had in the palm of their hands, and they could have easily done it, because it's not like if this was impossible. No, the fact that you could do it in Mass Effect 2 means you could do it in Mass Effect 3. It's all about data. You just extrapolated the data of the choices you've made in part 1 and part 2, or going in part 3, and then you have a multitude of endings based on all of the choices that you've made. So you can have about 10, 12, 15 endings based on what you've done. So the fact that they didn't go there and they literally sold themselves out, because what it was, and it's just what makes it just by the time Mass Effect 2 came out, this thing was huge. It was massive. Hence why EA wanted to cash in, because like, oh my gosh, this is a huge game. But it was huge based on just how good the game was and how authentic it was. But EA didn't respect its authenticity. EA were like, money. It's the same thing that EA do with FIFA, which is a piece of crap game that is not nowhere near as good as Pro Evo. EA just care about products because they're a corporation. So they don't care about quality. They don't care about anything that is truly genuine or artistic. They're just like, no, we're here to mine you and to maximize profits. So in their dumb minds, they're like, oh, people like action. People like online stuff. Let's just make this an action RPG and just put it out there. People will buy it. And what you end up having was a half-assed game that spat in the faces of what Mass Effect 1 and 2 was.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, though, I think I'm pretty sure there's another version of this game that was supposed to get made. And supposedly there was a whole complete... I mean, because you don't make a game like Mass Effect without having completely 3 acts, you know what I mean? So yeah. I heard that they changed the ending at the last minute because they were trying to do something completely... I don't know why, because I've read like articles on it online, and it seems like the original ending would have been a lot better. But yeah, man, I don't think I've ever witnessed a game get such backlash over an ending in the history of games.
Bro,
to the fact that
forums, I was on those forums, man. People wanted to hack that Bioware head dude to pieces. Like, I was on those forums, and guys, it was brutal, man. It was brutal. Like, guys were like, because trust me, see, when you create a game that is so unique, you have cult fans. That's how cult films are made. Cult films are made, or cult fan bases are made when you create something that is very unique and very special. Like, FIFA doesn't have a cult fan base, nor does like Mario, because these are just like general mass games. But Mass Effect, because the world was so unique and it was a unique experience tailor-made to the user, people felt a close, very close attachment to this game, specifically to their character. So once you just bastardized and just shat all over what people felt so closer to, they'd be pissed off. Hence, when people were very, very angry about it, and I think the wound, I said, for me, the wound will never heal. Because for me, I was
No, yeah.
like this was like there isn't a character I felt more connected to in any game, and I don't think there'll ever be a character I felt more connected to in any game than Half Up Shepherd. I don't care about Link. Zelda's a great game. I don't give a damn about Link. I don't care. I don't care about Mario. Master Chief is cool. Yeah, I care about Half Hope Shepherd. I really cared, you know. And the thing about it is that having a character in a video game you care for is far more than having a character in a film you care for, because it's interactive. Once it's interactive, there is a kinship that you share that you simply can't share with an Indiana Jones, a Marty McFly, or so forth. And just the things that these dickheads, yeah, these dickheads didn't realize the kind of fan base you had and what you could have achieved. See, that's the crazy thing, Tony. You could have created something truly unique and special where I'm like, guys, you want a great, amazing experience? Have a weekend and play Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, then get back to me. Imagine that, where like someone say, sit down for a weekend and just have a weekend yourself and just play these 3 games and go on an amazing trilogy of a journey with a character that you create, and you forge his own destiny across three games. That'd be amazing. But whenever I say to people, I say, play those 2 games and that's it. Don't touch this piece of crap. Don't touch it.
Honestly, I wouldn't say that. I would say play Mass Effect 3 and then stop about when it seems like it's getting towards the end. Just don't play anymore.
But Tony, Tony, you can't do that because like you can't play a game then play it halfway through. Because the reason why I say don't play the game is that even if there are portions of Mass Effect 3 that are really good, but the promises are unfulfilled, so it is better that you don't even touch the game, because once you play the game, like, oh my gosh, wow, this really what's happening, and you feel something big is going to happen, but then the payoff is so poor that I don't want people to be taken through that kind of disappointment. Yeah. So it's best to stop at Mass Effect 2, because those are 2 complete products of Mass Effect 1, boom. Mass Effect 2, boom. Mass Effect 3, okay, halfway, all right, then stop after halfway. I'm like, there's no point.
What I should say is it's go into it expecting to be disappointed. But I still say it's worthwhile to experience it just because there's some good stuff in there, man. But yeah, I mean, going back to like the way it ended, man, I don't think I've ever seen a game actually get retconned before. like the developers actually had to release DLC to appease the fans. I've never seen that happen in the history of games.
Yeah,
people were like on the forums like coming up with like weird like detailed like explanations and theories of like, because do you remember how weird that ending was? The whole like the whole indoctrination theory thing where people were talking about like how, oh well, this is Shepard wasn't, he was under the influence of the Reapers the whole time, and what he was seeing wasn't really real, and people came up with it was like a coping mechanism that people came up with to be able to handle it.
No. Just complete utter trash. Complete total garbage, utter trash, man. That's what it was. Just complete utter trash, man.
They just changed the colors. You remember that? They just changed the colors.
Oh yeah. We're just different colors, man. So sorry. So look, man. Beyond there, let's pull this in, man. 2940. So it is disappointed. It was a failure. It is what it was. We didn't get the game that we wanted, and I think. But see, this is the thing though, is that after it happened, I was like, okay, it didn't affect me as much because I was prepared for it. Similar to how you said, okay, if you knew something bad was happening, see, I knew something bad was happening before I played it because of what I read. So it didn't hit me as hard. It still hits me, but it hits me as hard as it could have.
Can I
So
ask you a question? Did you play the DLC that
no,
they released?
I heard about it, but I didn't play. I think one of my friends did, but I didn't play because for me, after actually, wait a minute, did I?
Because I think it's actually it's a little bit better. I mean, so
Yeah,
they did improve the ending.
I might have. I think I might have something the same. It was it was so long ago, man, that I can't remember. But I think I might have. I might have. Um, but look, man,
It
that's
is
how
what it is.
it is what it is. That's what the game was, and then So leaving that behind, we're now in 2020 right now. So the remastered edition that's been announced. One thing that excites me about the remastered edition is Mass Effect 1. That is something I have to do. A rebranded, refurbished, streamlined Mass Effect 1. That's sexy. That is really sexy because I always say to myself that, man, because wait, so how many characters? Because I think I created like I completed Mass Effect 1, I think 3 or 4 times with 4 different characters, but I definitely completed it with 2 different characters because it did one male, one female.
Yeah, I
But
think multiple did that way.
yeah. But I use loads of characters, and I always said to myself that, man, if they could just remake this game and just make it smoother, oh my god, man, it would be so amazing. It'd be so amazing because see, if let's say if the gameplay was better and sharper in Mass Effect 1, for me, it's a better game than Part 2.
Yeah,
It's a
it
better
could
game than
definitely
Part 2.
pass part two.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a while to play it again. I've been thinking about it for a while. So
Yeah.
I think now, now is a good opportunity, man. Whenever it comes
You
out.
see, because what's it called? Because there was that leak from Nintendo Switch that they said apparently they're gonna have it on Nintendo Switch. Now, if
Oh, okay.
because Skyrim is on. Wait, so do you have a Nintendo Switch?
I want to get one, but I'm hearing that there's talks about they're coming out with a new version.
Oh
Like
yeah, new
Pro.
version, new version. So
So
yeah,
if
it's
that
true.
comes
So,
out, I'll buy that one.
yeah. So basically, what was I gonna say? So there is a Switch version that may be coming out on Mass Effect because Skyrim is on the Switch.
It's on Switch. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
That's
Crazy.
pretty crazy.
So the Mass Effect thing, there was a leak that the remastered edition, all 3, would come out on the Switch. So if that gets released on the Switch, or for sure, I'm getting that on the Switch for sure, because that is insane. To play Mass Effect like handheld would be freaking insane. So that's one thing, Mass Effect 1. Second thing is, if you're going to remaster it, Tony, can you please just remake Mass Effect 3 and do it right? Do you
I'm
think
telling
they
you, they
will?
should just. They won't, but I really do think they should. Just make Mass Effect 3 like a bad dream, and then can you imagine how crazy that would be if you just pop in Mass Effect 3 and it's a whole new game?
Oh, bro. That
The
and that is
internet will
one of,
catch on fire, man.
no. That is what is needed because trust me, there are still people to this day who are still bothered by what happened. This must have been what freaking over 10 years ago that Mass Effect 3 came out. There's still
Bro,
guys that are still
listen,
bothered by it.
I wake up in the middle of the night sweating sometimes, having bad dreams about Mass Effect 3.
No, it's true. It's
I'm
true
like
because
PTSD,
yeah,
man.
no. It is PTSD because I'm like because anytime I just see like a new RPG comes out or so forth, I'm like, bro, this ain't Mass Effect, man. It ain't Mass
Oh
Effect. Like
man,
this
that's
ain't half
no
of
man.
Shepard, man. It ain't half of Shepard. I'm sorry. You can try everything. It ain't freaking half Hope Shepard. Um, what was I gonna say? Legacy. You see, the title of the stream was, I say that this is the greatest RPG of all time. And the reason why I say that is it's a lot of elements that many and this is the thing where many RPGs that you mention follow a certain trope and a certain trajectory. They're still amazing. I know how amazing those Final Fantasy games are. I know how amazing Final Fantasy VII is, and how extremely well told the story is in Final Fantasy VII. But my thing is, almost any RPG you name, Mass Effect takes things to the next level. You know, it takes things to the next level, and I just think it just raises the bar with regards to what you can expect from a role-playing game, and it gives you more as to what you can expect from a role-playing game. And I just don't think that there is any other game that, just from my point of view, and this is my thing, and maybe it's a personal thing. It's why I like GTA so much, and why Vice City may be like Vice City is my favorite game of all time. I like freedom to be like, no, I want to make my own choices in this game. I want to do it my way, and I want to have the most unique experience possible, where my experience is different from any other people's experiences. Hence why I love sandbox games so much, because sandbox games are very random, and you never know what can happen, which is what made GTA so amazing. Because what's it called? The tagline in GTA 3 was anything can happen out there, which is true. Like, you step out into GTA 3, anything can happen, because it's a sandbox game where you can just mistakenly do some crazy thing and fall into something. And that's the beauty. So the beauty of the Mass Effect games was it was a mixture of your unique character, your choices having an effect to an extent, the music. Don't forget the freaking music.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. We gotta talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, like the music was freaking money, because the music. Because say for me, like, I'm a musical guy, and I say music is vital in films and in games. Music is vital, and just the music of Mass Effect, it was like, okay, this. It's like this
Like, just
isn't
like
a video game. Sorry.
just the title screen music alone, like it's up there with like like Halo 1 is like one of the best title screen music, but Mass Effect is like right behind it.
Oh yeah, no.
The way that is, you can just leave it there as a screensaver, and it's just like, wow, look at this.
No, but you see, you can definitely feel that heavily influenced by Blade Runner, 100%.
Oh yeah, Vangelis,
100%.
definitely, yeah, lots of
100%.
Vangelis in there.
You know, and again, I said Blade Runner is my, because I don't really see, like, for me, Blade Runner for me is like my favorite pure sci-fi movie. I think Matrix is more of like a mixture of sci-fi, action, and everything, but it's not just pure science fiction. Blade Runner is my movie, man. So the fact that it was so heavily influenced by Blade Runner in terms of the look, the vibe, the atmosphere, the music, made me love it even more. Hence why it has a special place for me than other games, because it was trying to be like a movie, which is what made MGS such a big game, because Hideo Kojima was like, no, I want to make a film, and I want to make a game where it feels like if you're in a movie.
Isn't it interesting how like a game that's trying to be a movie is way more engaging than a movie trying to be a game?
Oh yeah,
Making a game out of a movie.
because Darren, I don't know what this is. Mass Effect Andromeda. I don't.
I played Andromeda because I got it for free with my graphics card. That's the only reason I played it.
All right. So wait,
That's all I'm going to say about it.
Guys in the live chat, send questions in. Any gaming questions, we could answer any gaming questions you want. So send in questions. Sending any gaming questions, we'll answer some questions at the end. So send in your questions. Send in your questions. So what? So in terms of like, so where would you? After that, for me, it is for me the greatest gaming RPG, 100%. Taking everything into account in terms of role-playing game, playing a role, your character, and taking your character through a unique journey. In the very essence of the word role-playing, for me, it is the greatest role-playing game of all time, and nothing comes close to it. So I just think in terms of what the experience it gives you, there's no other RPG or JRPG that is coming close to this. So what do you think its legacy is, in your view?
Well, a lot of people are waiting for this remake. So I think the fact that people are waiting for a remake of this game that came out like Jesus Christ, when did the first Mass Effect come out? It was like 07 or something like that.
Yeah.
My God, man. But anyway, like I mean, I think the legacy like stands, man. There's still people that do a lot of a lot of cosplay of Mass Effect. You know, you go to a convention, you see a bunch of guys, a bunch of Garruses. You know, you see like Garrus is actually like a legendary character, man.
He's
People
a great
like,
character. No, like
yeah,
there's
he's
so
awesome.
many amazing characters, but I think Garrus was. I think that was the guy that I formed the closest bond with. Was Garrus, because even just his look is amazing. His look is so amazing.
Yeah, man. I want to know who voice acted that character because that's like a really good performance, man. Um, but yeah, like I mean, people are excited for this remake, and we've been asking for it for a while. So I am 100% down, and I think you should do a stream of Half Hope Shepherd
Oh,
at some point. I'm definitely gonna be doing some streaming of it when it comes out. I think it's coming out next year.
oh
Is that right?
the remastered thing.
Yeah, the remaster. I think it's 2021.
Yeah, no. For me, I think look, it is true what you said. Like the fact that they're doing a remastered version shows you just the impact of that game and how people loved that game and just what that game meant. You know, and how because yeah, look, these guys have done. I think they did Knights of the Old Republic. They've done Dragon Age and everything, but there's it's like when Lawrence Fishburne talked about Morpheus, he said, "Look, man, there's nothing else I will do in my career that will have the same resonance as Morpheus. Nothing. There's nothing Bioware will do for the rest of their lives that will have the same impact as Mass Effect. Look at their game that they're trying to make, Anthem. What happened with that game?
Whew, that was a huge disappointment.
Like, well, because I remember I watched Angry Joe's review of the game, and it was like, nah, man, this, like, when he just listed all of the faults of the game, I was like, bro, and that game was expensive. They put a lot of money into that game, man, because it looks expensive. The game looks like, I'm like, geez, look at the graphics, the stuff that you can do, but, bro, and this is why. There's news. They said that there is a new Bioware team that's going to be making a new Mass Effect.
I was just gonna ask because I don't think the original creators are part of Bioware anymore, are they? They're doctors, right? Aren't they?
They said that it was a team of the old school people. We're going to make a new Mass Effect.
And I mean, even if you do make it, like I don't understand, like how would you make that? Because I mean, the way the game ended is kind of you're gonna have to kind of come up with a completely different storyline. It'd be interesting, but I'm curious. I don't know, man. I got burned so many times, man. Andromeda burned me, man. I'm done. I think I might be done.
Oh my god, did you actually play Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yeah, I played the whole thing. I played through it.
So because again, I'm never touching that game. So just give me a brief rundown of just what the heck is that game about?
Well, the pitch was that it was supposed to take place in a different universe at the same time, I think, as Mass Effect 1 and 2 were going on. And you were supposed to be colonizing some planets. But it doesn't matter, man. Like, honestly, it wasn't anything that we haven't seen in any of the other games. It was just done a lot worse. Like, that game was one of the most buggiest games I think I've ever played.
Yeah, like I've seen videos of just like all of the glitches and all of the bugs that are in the game, and I'm like, because like even for me, even when because again I was so burned by Mass Effect 3 that I was like, I'm not touching anything that Bioware are doing. Hence why I didn't think about Anthem. So even when they showed we're doing Mass Effect Andromeda, I was like, nah, I don't care. And then when I saw Angry Joe's review, because Angry Joe always keeps it real, he always keeps it a stack. So when I saw his review, I was like, thank you, because he just said, no, this game is just trash.
It just honestly, it felt like a made-for-TV like sequel. Like it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
And it was still Bioware that made that game.
It wasn't the same studio that made Mass Effect 1 and 2 and 3. It was a different studio that made it, but it was still part of Bioware. from what I understand.
Okay. All right, guys. So we'll take some questions here and just run this hour out with just some game and talk. So guys, so send in your questions, man. If there's anything gaming wise you want us to talk about. I'm still playing Witcher 3.
Oh, you're playing it. I didn't know you were playing it.
See, it's weird because whenever I start a game and then something takes over, then I get diverted. So I remember I began with what's the name of that Lord of the Rings game?
Shadow of
Yeah,
Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. Then I then stopped. Then I was, oh, Witcher 3. Then I then got on Witcher 3. Then I then sort of playing it, and then stopped. And then what game was it then? Yeah, so God of War. So the many games that I've started and I've stopped, and I've stopped. So now I'm sort of now consumed into Zelda because just something just diverts me. But from what I've played of Witcher 3, oh no, like very well made game, very
Yeah,
well made game.
Witcher 3 is an excellent game.
But see, the thing about this is that it's almost like you always feel spoiled by Mass Effect. That I'm like, man, I wish I could just create my own guy, you know. But even if you can, though, like no, it is very well made. And the thing though is that have you watched the TV series on Netflix with Henry Cavill?
No, I haven't, man. I'm
Nah.
not really into like TV versions of like stuff that I want to interact with my games, man. I don't like to watch like media
Nah,
based
nah,
on my
nah, nah,
games.
nah. I mean,
Is it
for me,
good though?
like it's not really it's not really pop up enough, man. But yeah, no. Look, I mean, so you finished Witcher 3 then.
Yeah, I finished that game. Yeah.
So how would you rank it? Like, I mean, worth playing? Like, one of the best games you've played. Would you say top 5 game, top 10 game that you've played?
Probably probably like the best RPG I've played since like Mass Effect. It's probably the best one.
Okay, so what is it about the game that makes it so good for you specifically? Is it the gameplay, the story, the graphics?
Um, well, the thing about Witcher 3 is it's very I think that particular world that they built is interesting because
Hmm.
it's fantasy, but it's like a dark fantasy. It's like what if this was a real place? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's not a clean fantasy like Lord of the Rings or anything like that. It's just like what if this was real? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What if elves really existed? It would not be like it would not be a pretty place to be. I mean, it's a pretty dark game, but I think I just connected with that. You know what I mean? Like it was
So,
different.
so, so basically, it was really the story that got to you.
Yeah, I mean, I have no like attachment to The Witcher at all until I played this game, and then just the presentation too. Like it's one of the best looking games I think I've seen on like a
No,
PC.
no, look, yeah, playing it and just watching it, like, and when you just go through like the fields, I'm like, graphically, this game is crazy. Graphically, like this game is. Wait, so is this on Xbox and PlayStation, or was it an Xbox exclusive?
I think it came out and everything. I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, because see, and this the thing though is that I wish I got Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox because games run better on the Xbox than they do on the PlayStation. So if there's a game that's multi-platform, get it on the Xbox because the PlayStation, obviously, hopefully this PS5 is probably a lot more smoother, but the PS4. If I tell you how loud my console is whenever I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, it was insane. And this just can't be just because everybody complains of the whole same thing. Where like it sounds like it's a flipping nuclear attack on my thing, man. So um let's say this in PS5 or Xbox Series X. So obviously we addressed this before earlier. As of right now, show me the game. If Xbox Series X comes out with an amazing game, or if Bungie decide to return and make like a true quality Halo game, all right, I'll get Series X. If those pieces of crap losers known as Rockstar decide to make GTA 6 and they say, okay, it's a PlayStation X exclusive, bro, I'll get my PS5. So you need, like, Tony, why am I going to get a PS5 and Series X now? Tell me, for what? What reason? Like,
It's basically if you want to get like Okay, here's the thing. So Xbox, if you want to play games in 4K at high frame rate, like on a PC,
Hmm.
I think you'll be happy with the system because that's what I've been hearing. Like I've been hearing that the performance has been like extremely good,
Hmm.
but it really depends on your situation. Like for me, if you have like a good gaming PC, there's no reason to go out and buy these systems. But
Yeah.
if you're rocking like a console, like an old Xbox One or a
Hmm.
PS4, then I could definitely see a reason, a compelling reason to go out and buy it. But
No, you know what I need to see, because TV wouldn't, like, watching something on YouTube wouldn't do it justice. If I can go to someone's place, sit down, and somebody who has a 4K TV and see them playing it, then that is what will be like. Oh, okay, geez, this is pretty interesting. Again, for me, like I can't afford a 4K TV. Like that's not something that I can afford. But if I see it and witness, okay, this is what this whole frame rate looks like. That's why I want to just try and play it. So,
have you
no, I mean,
seen
look.
have you seen the Demon Souls demo? You didn't.
Also, so okay, so there's a Demon Souls demo on for Series X or PS5.
Well, it's only on PS5, but if you go to the PlayStation YouTube page,
Hmm.
like watch that in 4K. It's insane. Like the graphics in that game are just ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I mean, you see, like I always say to people, like launch titles. What would be interesting is that once they now make another, which is why it's so annoying, because like Tony, imagine GTA 6 4K high frame rate, where this world now looks real. Because I know what it's felt like playing GTA 3 for the first time back in 2001. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. So now imagine you playing in a living, breathing city. Because for me, I've always said that my idea for a GTA is just that. See, Vice City, the original Miami, is to pretty much do or maybe you can even do LA, because they obviously did LA in San Andreas. So where you play a cop, you're like a police guy and you're like a police person. Because there was this game called Urban Chaos, like indie game, where like you were like a cop and you could pretty much get guys, apprehend guys, and arrest guys and so forth. So if you could maybe, if you're in the role of a cop, where you're a dirty cop, or you're like a detective, like plainclothes detective in a GTA game, and you put that to next gen 4K. Oh my gosh, man! Wow, we are popping off. We are popping off all the way.
I'll say this, man. If you wanna get my money, man. If Sony, you listening? If you wanna get my money right now, announce Vice City 2 on PS5.
Vice City 2. Do you
Vice City
think
2 on
that they would
PS5.
see? That's my thing, though. Is that, do you think they realize that that is their most? But what is the most? Because for me, I thought Vice City was the most popular game because I loved it. I think the most popular game is San Andreas. Most people say that San Andreas is actually the most popular game. Like it's the most memed. It was the most played, and I think it sold the most. San Andreas is actually the game that sold the most. Well, obviously not as much as GTA 5, but relative to when it was released and so forth, San Andreas was a massive seller. So,
Well, I mean, San Andreas was the biggest game they ever made at the time. I mean, it was way bigger than Vice City. But I think, as like for me, I think Vice City had a bigger impact because just like I like the setting, man. The setting is amazing in that game. And just
yeah,
like
no. I told it. Once you like, Tony, look, we talk all the time, and we have similar interests. You give me Miami, you give me 80s, you give me a Hawaiian shirt, you give me 80s music.
listen, man, like they haven't like they redid New York for 4. They did like LA for 5.
Yeah,
They gotta do it this time. They gotta do it for 6. They gotta do
yeah.
Miami, man.
Um, there's this one that's pretty cool. Let me. How would you fix Mass Effect 3? Oh boy.
I would fix it by just I mean
No. Basically, look, put it this way.
yeah.
It's first off, it's your approach to it. The approach to Mass Effect 3 was, we are making an action game for fun with an online thing. So already the approach was wrong. The approach to Mass Effect 3 to have is this is the final game to the first two games. So part 3, the whole of part 3 should have been about, which is what every great third part in a trilogy does, where you are
Yeah.
referencing what happened in part 1 and part 2. So literally, you will come into instances, or you'll even meet people, or you'll meet scenarios that you saw in part 1. So you're like, oh my gosh, remember that thing that you did in part 1? Remember that guy that you did in part 1? You're now, basically, part 3 is the effects. You're not feeling the effects of all of your actions, and you can't change into them. So you're like, oh my gosh, remember that mission you did in part 1? These are now the repercussions. And it all ends up in you having an ending where all of the decisions you make all amounts to this ending you now have. So part 3 is really about, oh geez, man, what if I did this? Like, oh, look at how this guy ended up. This guy that I saved, look at how he ended up. This guy that I didn't save, this guy that I punched in the face, look at how he ended up. That was what 3 should have been about. You're like, oh. So the whole theme of Mass Effect was choices. Your choices have repercussions. Your choices have effects. And part 3 should have been the effects of all of the choices you made in part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, man. I agree completely. Like a lot of times, like the best endings to a series, man. Like they always go back to the beginning. So I mean, it's kind of like I don't know what they could have really done because it's tough to come up with a good ending with all the choices you made. But I think just like having a satisfying ending, just having a decent storyline that you don't have to wrap up every single thing that happened, but just you get to the end and you feel like, wow, man, I've been through some shit. I saved the universe. Where do we go from here? And just end it there. That's all I had to do, really. I mean,
how are you feeling about Cyberpunk 2077, man? I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, look, it's an RPG, so I'm already interested and so forth. But I don't know. I'm feeling funny with this game, and I think it's. I'm feeling that the hype surrounding the game, and there is a massive hype surrounding the game, that maybe that is why they delayed it. But then I didn't hear that they delayed it, but the company is now putting pressure on them and making them work extra hours to try to release it on time. So, I mean, where are you at with 2077?
honestly, like I've been waiting for this game since they announced the trailer. Like it's like 7 years ago, man. It's a long time. But
7 years?
yeah, the first trailer, it was like a teaser. It came out 7 years ago.
Damn.
I thought the project was dead for a while, and then they finally showed it off at E3 a couple years ago. But yeah, man, this game is like tailor made for me, man, because like I love Blade Runner and I love like robots and cyborgs and just driving around in like a futuristic city and getting into like and the fact that it's an RPG, man, like they could do so many interesting storylines and side quests and just that universe is so like interesting. But yeah, I'm a little bit apprehensive because the fact that they delayed this game 3 times now, something is going on, man. Either like maybe it's pressure because they're trying to make this thing live up to the hype, but I really don't know, man. But I'm trying to temper my expectations because I have a feeling that this thing is gonna get delayed again, man. Because there's already like rumors going online saying it's gonna be pushed to 2021 because there's a lot riding on this game. But I hope it comes out and it's a fantastic game. I'm waiting for it, but yeah, man. Right now it's really the only game that I'm waiting for, like like a day one game that I'm gonna buy right away and play. But I really hope it's better than Witcher 3 because Witcher 3 was an excellent game and they have the chops.
Because it's the same company, isn't it?
Yeah. The CD Projekt Red. They have the chops, man. Those guys are really doing good work, man. Like if there's a company right now that can come out with a game that's just gonna be like amazing, those are the guys, man. I can't think of anybody else, but it's we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Everything looks good. Like everything that I've seen looks good. So we'll see.
How many? This is my thing about Assassin's Creed. I see this is maybe a franchise that I may need to jump in. I remember when the first Assassin's Creed came out. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, man, this thing looks crazy. And I remember when it started to play, I was like, oh my god, this game is amazing. Like the gameplay, stunning. Like the way you could scale walls and everything, this is amazing. But then I was like, oh my god, these
Yeah.
missions are trash. You're just doing the same thing again and again. And I stopped playing it because I was like, I'm bored. Because I'm just doing the same thing again and again and again. So I just said, okay, this is trash. And since I stopped it, they've been like 3 billion Assassin's Creed. And what I always said about
Oh my
Assassin's Creed
God,
when I
man.
played it was that the gameplay stunning, graphics stunning, like the production value on this is amazing. But that Assassin's Creed I played, which I think was the first game, I got bored. So have you played Valhalla? Because I saw on the bus on the street, I saw a poster for Valhalla for the game. Just that, can I play Valhalla? Do I need to play the previous games to play Valhalla, or are all the Assassin's Creed games just standalone games where you don't need to play the previous games to play these games? Because if you don't, okay, no, let me jump back into Assassin's Creed, man. So
I'm pretty sure they're all standalone now because I think it was 1, 2, and 3 that had like a storyline going, and then after that, I completely lost track. They were coming out with one like every year, weren't they? At some point, I lost track. There's like 7 or 8 of these games, but yeah, I think I think they're pretty much all standalone now, from what I understand.
actually, what's it called? That's what I remember. And I might still have it. Yes. So game, the store has now closed down now. But when I bought Assassin's Creed on a game, I think it was like they were doing like a special thing. So I think the first people that bought it, they gave you the shirt. So you know that shirt with the hoodie.
Yeah,
So as you got the game, they gave you that shirt with the game, and I think I still have it because you see that was a really cool shirt. Like that's his shirt, his clothes. That is really cool. That is really cool, man. So yeah, I mean, I think Assassin's Creed thing is something that I might get into, man. Your thoughts on GT? Actually, again, I haven't played GTA 5, man. You know, because I mean, I was like, and it's the same reason why I didn't play San Andreas, man. I'm like, literally, it's because of the black character in it just annoyed me. So for personal reasons, like, nah, I'm cool on that. As you just said, just make a Vice City 2, and I'll keep it real with you. See, I loved GTA 3. Vice City, best game I've ever played in my life. GTA 4, I didn't actually enjoy GTA 4. It was a good game because all GTAs are cool. I didn't enjoy GTA 4 because I just felt the character was bland and the story was bland. And even when I look at GTA 5, it doesn't excite me. Like those characters for me, they don't excite me. So like, okay, yeah, I know that the game is cool and everything, but I need to be excited by the setting and the character. So what were your thoughts on GTA 5?
I never finished GTA 5. For some reason, every time I get close to finishing that game, something happens. Like either like, I think last time I was close to the end and my computer crashed. I had to reinstall Windows, so I couldn't. It didn't save me my progress, so I couldn't go back. I just didn't bother. But
So you have it on PC?
yeah, I have it on PC. I think I bought it on Xbox when it first came out. But yeah, it's kind of like a better looking version of San Andreas, really. But for what I played, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty damn good game. But yeah, there's something about those games and like the settings they choose that it really makes it like interesting. I always like Rockstar games because of that. But
Yeah, no, Rockstar. Now, how know what they're doing? So actually, wait. Let me. What's it called? Where would you want a GTA 6? Now, did you ever play? I don't know, Jack. Did you ever play a game called The Getaway? Because this is a game called The Getaway that was set in London, and it was very realistic. So much so that like my brother said that he could actually drive to his flat on
that's
the
pretty
game. So
crazy.
the game was like really like they built London to be serious. And my thing is, see, because I live in London, if they set it in London, that would be crazy. You know, if it's a bit like a realistic London and everything, so you're going through Tottenham Court Road, Oxford Circus, Camden Town and everything, that would be really cool because I live in London. But as I said again, I wouldn't mind them doing Vice City 2. And if you do Vice City 2, you play like a cop or something. So, because I think that would be interesting if you played a cop and a detective, and you're like a shady kind of detective, coming from a different angle. So rather than being the criminal, you're now on the side of the law, but you're a kind of a shady cop. So that'd be cool. And you can still set that in London. So, where would you want them to set GTA 6?
They've kind of done a lot, man. I mean, for them to get me interested, it would probably have to be somewhere outside of America. I mean, I don't think there's done anything outside of America, have they?
Yeah, no, they haven't. No, because I heard rumors that they wanted to do something in Tokyo.
Woo, that's a good one. Yes, if they
And
did like
Tokyo,
Japan. Oh man, can you imagine that?
yeah, that would
Like,
be crazy. I know, no, because I've been to Tokyo, and basically Tokyo is like London on steroids. It's like just a mad city, man. So, and especially when you go to places like Shibuya and so forth, just basically a GTA in Tokyo makes sense based on just how crazy. Because the issue with London though is that London is quite condensed, and London, yeah, is there, but London isn't really like a mad city. It's lively but not mad. Like Tokyo is mad because it's big, it's loud, and there's a lot of kind of crazy stuff in there. So, but the beauty about London though is that there are so many different cultures around there. That's what will make it cool because there's like the Chinese culture, there's the West African culture, there's the South American culture. So there's so many different kinds of identities and cultures within London that you could make for a great story in there because London is just such a mix of different peoples and so forth. So, just end this. So, what game are you currently playing now?
um, I'm trying to finish Red Dead. I've been playing it
You've
here
still
and
not,
there.
you've still not finished Red Dead 2?
No, I've been playing it on and off. That game is a very long game, and it's kind of a slow burn at the beginning. The beginning of that game is such a slow burn, but I think I'm at the
Yeah,
point
it's a very
now.
slow burn. Wait, so you played Red Dead 1?
No, I haven't. This is the first Red Dead game I played. Yeah, I've never played any of the other ones.
Oh my god. Do you know how lucky you are? Because do you know why you're lucky? Red Dead 2 is a prequel to Red Dead 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
So after you play Red Dead 2, play Red Dead 1. Oh man,
Damn. Okay.
you're like you're in the perfect scenario right now. So after you play Red Dead 2, then go and play Red Dead 1 because yeah, Red Dead 2 chronologically happens before the events of Red Dead 1. But yeah, no, trust me, no, play Red Dead. Like it's you see, for me, Red Dead 2 it's similar to Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 1. Red Dead 2 is a better game than Red Dead 1 in terms of just how it's made and technicalities. But
Right.
I prefer the storyline and the story in Red Dead 1 to Red Dead 2. So,
Okay. All right. I mean, I've got plenty of time now because there's not a lot of games coming out. So after I finish Red Dead Redemption, I might go ahead and try that.
okay. You see, for me, I'm playing and obviously actually I've got like my Nintendo Switch. So I'm playing Zelda and Animal Crossing. Bro, Animal Crossing is addictive, man. Basically, it's such a chilled out game because basically it's like um you basically it's everything happens in real time. So you have this island and you just see building stuff. So it's like if you're like living in your own virtual world and it all happens in real time. So it's summer, winter, spring, all like how it is in the
So
world.
is it happening as it's happening in real life? Like, is it like winter time in the game now
Yeah,
as you're playing it?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
yeah. So when it's summer that's and like they all so basically for instance like when it was Halloween, there was like a special Halloween celebration in the game. So it also relates to the calendar and stuff. And but obviously the game I'm in is basically Zelda on the Switch. And bro, get get that Switch, man. Like
I'm gonna get one. I'm
it's
definitely gonna get one.
You see, I've not even scratched the surface yet of the Zelda game, but already this Zelda game is one of the best games I've ever played. The game is insane in terms of
I've
just
heard that. I've heard that before.
bro, in terms of just what they've achieved in this thing, in terms of just quality, the game is insane. Insane. Like, basically, it redefines how you view sandbox. The term sandbox of like, you can just go anywhere and just do anything. Like you're truly free just to roam in this world. It is insane. Insane.
Well, I always take your advice on games because you know what you're talking about, so I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, no. As I said, look, and obviously finish Reddit 2, Reddit 1, and you can probably get it on PC. Legacy of Kain, Soul River 1 and Soul River 2. You will not find a better story than those two games. Easily. Like, those games, in terms of the story, will fuck you up royally. All right, guys, man. Thank you, guys, man. Thank you for this stream. This was therapeutic, but I think it was. We had to get this out, man. Talk about Mass Effect, which is still a special game for both of us, and especially a special game for me, man. So, guys, remember to subscribe if you're new, like that vid, and remember to stay tuned to the Half Episodes for more interesting, cool content all through this month and all the way through, man. So, 20B, man. Peace out. Stay true and stay real.
All right.
Peace.